So far, all we've talked about are percentage increases. But sometimes we want to do percentage decreases. For example, we might see a shop that says 20% off everything. How do we do that? Let's go back to our familiar grid. We start with 100 white squares and we want to take 20% off. So how do we do that? Well, we start with 1, not in red. We start with 1 and we want to take away 20% of 1. So we start with 100 hundredths and we want to take away 20 hundredths, the red squares. That's a 20% decrease. But if we've got 100 of something and we take 20 away, how many are we left with? Well, the white squares. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of 10, so we're left with 80 hundredths. So a decrease of 20% involves multiplying by 1 minus 20 over 100, which is 80 over 100, as we saw up here, which is 0.80. So what do you think a decrease of, let's say, 12% would be? Same calculation. We multiply by 1 minus 12 over 100, which is 100 over 100 minus 12 over 100, which is 88 over 100. So this time we multiply by 0.88. And the last one, what about a decrease of 3%? That would be 1 minus 3 over 100, which would be 100 over 100, that's our fun with 1, minus 3 over 100, and 100 minus 3 is 97 over 100. We multiply by 0.97. This picture summarizes the two different processes. If we start off with any amount and we want to increase it, then we multiply. We multiply as it shows up here. If we start off with any amount and we wish to decrease it, then we multiply by a number smaller than 1. This number here. In this case, for a 20% decrease, we multiply by 0.80. For a 20% increase, we multiply by 1.2. And the important thing to realize is that when we increase, the amount that we end up with should be more than we started with. But if we decrease, the amount we finish up with should be less than we started with. So here we end up with more because we have increased and multiplied by a number bigger than 1. And here we end up with less, a decrease, because we have multiplied by a number smaller than 1. And this would apply for all the numbers we've looked at. If we want to do, for example, let's take the same number, 12%, then an increase would be 1.12, and a decrease would be 0.88. If we wanted to do 3%, an increase would be 0.03, and a decrease would be 0.97. The ones on the left would all make the amount we started with less, and the ones on the right would all make the amount we started with more. And if we wanted to take a really big number, let's say we wanted to do a 63% change, then we would do 1.63 if we wanted to increase by 63%, and we would do 0.37 if we wanted to decrease by 63%, and end up with a number smaller than we started with. But suppose now I already have done a calculation. Suppose I'm told, for example, on the left-hand side, that I have an amount that has already been decreased by a certain percentage, let's say 20%. So whatever amount I started with, I have reduced by 20%. Suppose, for example, that I am told that I have some item that costs £16 that has been reduced by 20% in a sale. And what I'd like to know is, how much did it cost before it was reduced? How much was it before it was reduced? Well, you'll remember, I'm sure, that to take the original amount and reduce it by 20%, what we need to do is we need to multiply by 0.8. And what's the opposite of multiply? Well, the opposite of multiply is divide. So we need to divide whatever the final price was by 0.8 to put back the decrease that originally happened. And 16 divided by 0.8 is 20. So something that costs £16 now originally cost £20. Let's just go right round the loop. If we start here and reduce by 20%, we will go left, and that involves multiplying. So we multiply by 0.8 to reduce by 20%, a 20% decrease, and that takes us to the final sale price of 16. If we want then to go through the cycle again and find out where we started, we have to divide by 0.8, which takes us back to the 20. On the other hand, on the right-hand side, if we've got something, say, that cost £48, but it had been increased by 20%, then it would have been multiplied by 1.2 in order to do that increase. And so, because it's been multiplied, we need to divide. We need to go back. We need to reverse. We need to do the inverse operation of multiply, which is we need to divide. So if we take, let me just move it to the left. If we take our £48 and we want to know what it was before we increased it by 20%, we divide by 1.2, and that will give us £40. Before it was increased by 20%, using a multiplier of 1.2, this item cost £40. Because to reverse a multiply, we have to divide. So if we go through this cycle again, if we have something that was originally £40 and we increase it by 20%, we will multiply by 1.2, which will produce £48. It will be more, it will have got bigger, but then, since it's now already been increased by a multiplication, to go back to what it was originally, we need to divide by the factor we used to start with, the 1.2, divide by 1.2, and it takes us back to 40. And if you look very carefully at this sheet, you can see that everything on the right-hand side, involves multiplying and dividing by, don't worry, it'll come back in a minute, multiplying and dividing by numbers bigger than 1, because we're going up and then we're going back down, and everything on the left-hand side, don't worry, it'll come back, Everything on the left-hand side involves multiplying and dividing by numbers smaller than 1, because first we decreased and then we restored the reduction. We brought back the decrease to come back to the original amount. In one case, the original amount was 20, and in the other case, the original amount was 40. That's percentage increase and decrease, and how to reverse them.